We are just waiting just another minute to start, just letting some people come back in. Okay, we're going to begin. So, we have a webinar tonight, and today we are talking about key takeaways from 2023 and the aesthetic trends for 2024. It's hard to believe, but it's already December. So, really, what this webinar, the purpose is to look back at 2023, think about some learnings from it, talk about positives and negatives, and then look towards 2024 and really look at what aesthetic experts are saying are going to set you up to be even more successful in the upcoming year.
Yeah, so let's begin with just some quick introductions. My name is Heather Nace. I am the Director of Education and Research here at API, as well as a Principal Consultant. And my co-host tonight is our CEO and founder, as well as a Principal Consultant, Kathy Walton. And Kathy, do you kind of want to walk through our experience and background together?
Yeah, so Heather and I both have 15 and 20 years in the aesthetic space, respectively. So really, when you look at the companies that we've worked at Galderma, so we know the neurotoxin and filler space. We have launched PRP and microneedling, so we know the ins and outs of that. We also worked for a very, very successful laser company where I was a vice president of sales and Heather was a sales director. And then we launched a private label medical grade skincare line. So for us, we know every facet of the aesthetic space, and really we want to pretty much provide you our insight based on all the experience we've had over the years.
Thanks for that summary, Kathy. And so let's kind of break down what we're going to go over tonight. So first and foremost, we're just going to do a quick introduction about who API is and what we do. Then we're going to kind of dive into the aesthetic space learnings from 2023. We'll walk through the rise and thrive of the aesthetic and medical spa industry. And then we'll talk about the biggest health and wellness trends that we saw this year and go through the ones that turned out to be the most profitable. We'll also discuss the challenges of operating a medical spa in 2023, and then looking forward towards a more positive outlook regarding the aesthetic space moving into the new year. We'll dive into some insights and strategies for success in the med spa space in 2024. And of course, we're going to talk about some strategies to help you maximize your profitability. At the end, we are going to do a Q&A. So throughout the presentation, please feel free to enter your questions into the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can at the end. If we don't get to your question, don't worry. We'll be doing a follow-up where we can answer your questions and take it from there. All right, so who is Aesthetic Pathway Institute? So we're a team of clinicians and aesthetic practitioners and consultants that combined have over 20 years of proven experience in the aesthetics field that we bring to the table. We not only have an extremely deep knowledge of the aesthetic space, but we also have a really great understanding of how fiercely competitive it is, as well as how lucrative it can be. And our goal is to empower you as the aesthetic practitioner with the knowledge and tools that you need to thrive in this space. So we're here to help guide you through all those twists and turns that you may experience in your aesthetic business to set you up for success. And we can do this in a number of ways. One of the things that we do is we do have a free membership. You can log on to aestheticpathway.com and sign up today. We have free educational videos. We have a resource library that has a lot of clinical studies and different types of treatment and consent forms, information on different products and devices. We're constantly putting out new blogs just on the latest trends, as well as just some overall educational material to put out there into the space to share. We will be launching a podcast in the near future, so stay tuned for future information on that. We did partner with a law firm, Hamel & Little. They specialize in medical spa law. So our members do get a free 20-minute legal consult for whatever your legal needs may be for your medical practice. Plus, you'll have access to our clinical and aesthetic business experts should any questions arise to help guide you. As far as the services we offer, we do a wide variety of different things. So we do training, we do consulting, website development, and search engine optimization. We can help with marketing, branding your practice, legal advice as far as to, who can operate what in which state. We also have like that clinical advice, like we talked about. We can help with business plan development. If you don't have a business plan, you're kind of just throwing anything at the wall to see what sticks. We're here to not only help you set those goals, but reach them as well. And for, one of the first and foremost things we really want to do is create a community that is going to allow you as aesthetic practitioners a safe place to ask your questions, share feedback, go through different types of just pearls that you can share and learn from others without industry companies like laser companies, this and that, coming in and giving their 2 cents. So we just wanted to create a really tight-knit community that serves you, because we know that the aesthetic industry can be very self-serving. So we wanted to create a space that would allow you to have that open forum to communicate and help build each other up. Training, we can do in person, hands on, or virtual. We can do it in groups or we can do one on one, whatever it is that you may be looking for. And we can do anything from neurotoxins to dermal fillers, PRB, devices, you name it. We can do training on different products, devices, private label skincare, aesthetic procedures. And we really believe in taking that whole office approach. Everybody should be able to confidently discuss your not only your services but also your products as well. We can also help set up standard operating procedures if you don't have any, an employee handbook to really help define the roles within your aesthetic business so that way your day-to-day operations run smoothly. So, looking to some insights from this past year, and the goal of this webinar really is to not just only discuss the challenges that we saw in the last year, but also the resilience that we saw within the industry, as well as some of those successes. So, we're going to be sharing what some industry thought leaders are turning to as a roadmap for their success going into 2024. So there's a famous quote. It's economic downturns are impossible to predict and as sure as sunshine. Build resilience now because when the sun comes up, you better be moving. And this quote really embodies the importance of resilience and proactivity in the face of economic challenges. We all know you cannot predict or control economic downturns, but what we can do is take those lessons learned and apply them to strengthen our foundation to be able to stand tall and firm when we see future economic downturns in the near future. So really just taking those lessons and applying them to help prevent those issues in the future. So I think we can all agree that 2023 was a pivotal year for the aesthetic and medical spa space. We saw a lot of new trends. We saw innovative procedures, which really caused a big shift in the aesthetic space. We did see immense growth, even though we still saw some setbacks. And I took a lot of learning lessons from that. And that's what we're really going to talk about tonight. We're going to go away and talk about those popular procedures. We're going to talk about maybe some of the less sought after treatments. Maybe they were really popular a year or two ago, and now you saw a big decline this year and you're wondering what happened. So we're going to break that down for you and talk about how that impacted the aesthetic space this past year.
So great job, Heather. So we're really going to talk about what were the biggest health and wellness trends going into 2023. So some of these things may be surprising to you. Some of these things you may be incorporating in your office, but let's break that down. So not surprising, minimally invasive treatments. You've got Botox, fillers, skincare, microdermabrasion, chemical peels, facials, and hydrofacials. Why is that so important? What we're noticing are people are going to the aesthetic offices. They are going to med spas, but they are looking for lower price point items. So those minimally invasive treatments are huge. And to that point, people are looking for no or very little downtime. So keep that in mind as we go through the presentation as well. IV therapy was very big in 2023. What's not surprising is people are really aware of their health, especially coming off the pandemic. The IV therapy, we know it's administering vitamins and minerals into the bloodstream. We want to boost energy levels. We want to provide overall health, but also enhance skin health as well. Med spa memberships were on a rise. So when you think about it, we think of gym memberships, right? Well, let's take that concept and put a spin on it. Now we're looking at med spa memberships. So if you're not including med spa memberships in your office, this is something you may want to consider. It's going to allow your customers to receive regular treatments. They're going to get it at discounted rates, so they're going to be more motivated to come into your offices. And they're also going to get discounted skincare. What's nice about this is they're going to buy skincare somewhere. Why not put them on a membership program and have them buying your skincare once a month or every other month? It's just great passive income for you. Then we saw some very interesting advanced therapies. So now we're looking at infrared saunas, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, cryotherapy, compression therapy. And one of the biggest trends going into 2023 was youth services. And when you think like, what do you mean youth services? So what we're finding are children under the age of 18 are really fed up of going to the dermatologist, being seen with their acne for maybe 2 minutes, getting a slew of prescriptions that is really not providing the results they want. So now the parents who are very familiar and they trust the med spa space are bringing their children in. So that is an area, if you are not concentrating on, definitely promote those services. You would be surprised how many of these patients will go for facials, will go for hydrofacials, maybe even like a light chemical peel. But what they're looking for results, and they're looking for somebody that's going to pay attention to their skin concerns. And with that, the med spa packages. So let's think about med spa packages. This is an opportunity for you to brand your own signature packages, whether it be a combination of various treatments like facials, microdermabrasions, lasers. It also can provide a comprehensive wellness solution, but you want to brand it with your own name. You also want to make these packages so appealing that maybe you throw in some free skincare. You maybe brand, you have branded skincare in your office. It's a great way to really kind of just create separation between you and the competition, because we know this is a very competitive space. But the med spa packages are huge in 2023, and I don't think they're going away in 2024. So now let's talk about some of the money-making moves in 2023. You may see a little bit of a crossover from the last slide, but some of this stuff may be interesting and maybe new to you. So we're seeing a combination of both service offering and product sales. So from the non-surgical procedures, once again, you've got the Botox and the fillers, platelet-rich plasma, microneedling, laser hair removal, LED light therapy, and chemical peels. Skincare sales. If you are not selling skincare in your office, or if you feel like it's not moving in your office, it is a huge opportunity, and it was a huge moneymaker in 2023. So consumers really are seeking for education. They want skincare, they're buying skincare, but they want products that work. So what we've noticed are the estheticians who are doing the facials, and they're educating the patients while they're in the office on the products they're using while they're getting the facial. Then they're offering the fact that they can purchase these same products to enhance the results when they get home. They really saw a huge uptick in their skincare sales. So if you haven't included this, or you have an esthetician that's maybe a little hesitant, it's just a great way for you to boost another passive income and maybe a revenue stream you haven't thought of. But in 2023, it was a huge revenue stream. Facials, those customized facials, once again, making it your own, very creative. It's a staple in this industry. And then you can even throw in LED light therapy. In-house financing. And this is so important, especially as we're at the end of the year, and some of you might even be thinking about purchasing a device. What we've noticed is some of the financing companies have really pulled back. We see the banks are not loaning like they used to. So these laser companies, I'm going to give them credit. Some of the big companies are offering in-house financing, which is great. They're not doing credit pulls. They're basically offering you a device, but you're paying the company direct and you're not going through a bank. What's nice is we've seen some 0% down and 0% financing. So use this to your advantage. If you're not able to secure a loan, but you do need a device, make sure you're looking at the best options and maybe even companies that are offering that in-house financing. And then we want to create those passive income streams. So that really comes into your membership, those packages we talked about on the last slide, and then automating those skincare product sales. So not only is it talking about the esthetician selling it while the patient is in the office, but creating a store on your website. So important. I can't tell you how many of my clients who've created stores will talk about not only their patients, if they can't get into the office, they're ordering more skincare, or they're ordering it for family members or family members in other states, even like Hawaii and California, or are ordering skincare. What's nice about this is it's just another way for you to make money and another way for your clients to really be connected to your practice. So what were some of the challenges with operating a medical spa in 2023? Some of these things you may have seen, and some of this may be new to you. But what the industry experts are saying is that there is a need for strategic planning. There is innovative marketing has to be at the forefront. We have to continually adapt to the changes in the market and really address our consumers' concerns. What are they looking for? So here are the challenges. We knew there was a little bit of an economic downturn. We know that the market is super competitive and it is saturated. There always will be regulatory compliance in the medical spa space. That is not going anywhere. What was surprising, and this caught a lot of med spas off guard, was the decline in body contour procedures. And just talking to people, it's pretty interesting. What did we see this year? We saw an upsurge in semaglutide. So we saw patients not really investing in much in the body contouring procedures and really looking for different ways to address their body concerns. And that was really through, Ozempic or semaglutide. We know that hiring and retaining staff can be a challenge. Slower months, we know that happens in the summer. People go on vacation, so that obviously is always a challenge. But what was something new, and we've seen this in the last couple of years, and this could even be into 2024 and even 2025, is the financing of the business. These banks are not loaning money like they used to. So we have to be really creative with our money. But with that, there is a lot of positive, and there's positive outlooks for the aesthetic space.
Yeah, so McKinsey predicted that the aesthetic medicine market is going to grow 12 to 14% year over year through 2027, which is right on track with what we've seen over the past couple years regarding COVID. We still saw the aesthetic space continue to grow overall. And this really is attributed to an increase in consumer interest in self-care and wellness, which at the end of the day is going to translate to a higher demand for aesthetic treatments. So going into 2024, you can expect to see the market continue to grow by 14% or even possibly a little bit higher. And despite this growth, though, we got to keep in mind that with growth also comes an increase in competition. So it is more crucial than ever that you find new ways to differentiate yourself and offer quality services. So like Kathy was mentioning, those signature packages, membership programs, finding different ways to really make yourself stand out. There's a big push and trend towards personalization. No more cookie cutter in and out the door. People are looking for science-backed treatments that suggest, a more customized and targeted service approach.
So what are those insights and what are those strategies? So we're going to go through what can you do to be successful in 2024 and take those key learnings from 2023 and just see more revenue and more profit and more success going into the new year. Here are the strategies for success for the medical spa space 2024. So here are some procedures you may be doing or you may want to incorporate. You've got the exosomes and the platelet-rich plasma, microneedling. Once again, that's skincare sales. And then you have skin rejuvenation devices. So radio frequency and IPL. So what's interesting is you're not seeing ablative devices on this list. I had mentioned this earlier, and I'm going to circle back to that. People do not want downtime. Yes, they want results, but they do not want to have their skin ablated. They don't really want 4 to 5 to 2 weeks downtime. So if you're considering purchasing an ablative device, especially right now going into 2024, maybe stop, maybe poll your client base and see if it's something they want. And that also is for the plasma pen. Because when you think you're ablating, the downtime, something to think about while you're looking to purchase devices, especially at the end of the year. Marketing tools, we talked about this. We need to be innovative with our marketing. It is so important that you have a website, the links are working, that it's optimized. So when I mean optimized, you want to search engine optimization. So when you do a Google search, you want to be the number one spot, if not near the top on Google when they search for medical spas or aesthetic practitioners. This is definitely uncomfortable for some people, and some people really embrace it. It's the live stream videos. Now more than ever, everybody's tuning into TikTok. About 3 years ago, there was a huge boom in Instagram. While it's popular, TikTok has really taken over. And the reason being is you're able to connect with your audience. People are able to see, wow, that's my practitioner. Not only that, they're looking for education with these videos. They want to know, okay, I have this practitioner. They're offering me these services. What will these services do for me? How does this benefit me? Am I a good candidate? So when you're doing live stream videos, which I'm a huge advocate for, and it's something, even if it's uncomfortable, definitely embrace going into 2024. They're not going anywhere. If anything, you're going to see more and more live streams for even your competition will be doing that. So very important. The other thing is before and after pictures are great, but definitely those live stream and education is key. Email marketing. This is a great opportunity for you to educate your clients through blog articles. It will drive them to your website, but also to promote your specials, just to drive traffic into the door and to really, especially like in summer months, maybe in months where it's a little bit slower, great way for you to engage that patient and really kind of create that sense of urgency to come to the med spa and get that aesthetic service that they might be putting off. Client testimonials, super important. They want to know, okay, I want to go to this med spa because look at the results. These clients are so happy. So if you can, get as many client testimonials as you can. And once again, we talked about this, it's connecting with your audience. We'll say it, probably you'll hear it a couple times in this webinar. Those live stream videos to connect with your audience, so important. Engaging social media content. So once again, engaging would be really helping the patient understand not just the before and after picture, which is great, but maybe explain what you did in that before and after picture, what made that patient a good candidate for the procedure that you're offering. Those personalized email campaigns are super, super important. When you think about it, when you get an email, if it's addressed to, like, say, Kathy, I'm more likely to open it. If it says, Dear Kathy, I feel like, wow, that med spa really addressed it to me. It's not just some canned email that goes out. So something to think about. And then providing that excellent customer service. I talk about this all the time. We have a dentist that we just fired in my family. And it's not because he's not a bad dentist. We love him as a dentist, but there was that uncomfortableness with the receptionist. The receptionist made it so unappealing to come into the office. So while we love the dentist, we were kind of at a point where do we tell the doctor who we're friends with or do we not? Because we don't know the relationship between the receptionist and the dentist. So instead, we just fired the dentist. That's why it's so important that your staff is very welcoming, especially in the med spa space. People are paying for the services, and that receptionist, that front desk, she has to be so welcoming, smiling, upbeat, happy. And it's hard because you're in the office with the patients. We don't know what's going on while you're doing your services. So something that's so important that a lot of med spas are really paying attention to going into 2024, and that's that excellent customer service. And I'll take it a step further. If you do a procedure, if you do a facial, send a text message, a personalized text message, asking how the procedure went. If there's any questions, that goes such a long way, and it shows that you care. Heather, I think you had mentioned that you had a great idea on this as well.
Yeah, I think that, sending those personalized email campaigns are an amazing idea. Along with that, though, and you just started to touch on that, is send email, text message campaigns too. People are a lot more likely to open their phone and look at a text right away versus their email. And a lot of times, like, let's say you got a bunch of new potential clients from an event you had. Maybe it's your first time emailing them. Sometimes those emails can end up in spam. So, doing the text campaigns along with the email can be a great way to make sure that your messages get through to those clients.
And how do you now maximize your profitability? We need to understand trends. And when I mean trends, we saw that with the body contouring. It kind of threw the industry off a little bit, where you spent so much money for these like M Sculpt devices, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then we noticed that the patients weren't coming in. So it's so important that we're understanding what happened in years prior and really implementing the trends and seeing, okay, what do I need to do in the next year to drive that profitability? Diversify your services. Offer services that your patients are looking for, that they're seeking. Like I had mentioned, if their patients don't want ablative services or devices, don't use that. Offer them what they're looking for. Focus on quality. Make sure you're giving your patients the best quality for the services that they're paying for. You want to invest in marketing. Marketing is going to be huge in 2024. And we got to build those relationships. So not only are we connecting online, but we're connecting with them while they're in the office as well.
Yeah, so some key takeaways from this past year that we saw throughout the economic downturn. We do want to also discuss some strategies to set you up for success moving into 2024. So, one thing the medical aesthetic industry has continued to prove year over year is resilience. Despite any economic uncertainty that we may have seen in this past year, the industry has still continued to grow. And this is largely attributed to getting involved with those untapped markets, maybe expanding into your different areas where you're bringing in different types of clients, technological advancements, and even just the consistent consumer desire for those aesthetic procedures, like Kathy mentioned, especially those with minimal downtime, as well as skincare to make that passive money. And I think one of the most important things going into 2024 is having a strategy put into place to be innovative. Prioritizing innovation is crucial to unlocking that post-crisis growth. So this can be done by doing a number of different things. You could bring in new technologies. You could explore novel treatments like exosomes, PRP, skincare, and just rethinking your business model altogether. Maybe you're going to start doing those live streams. Maybe you're going to do more um, email and text campaigns, just stepping outside of the box and trying new things to attract and retain new clients. There's a lot of tools out there you can use. They're even using AI now to do targeted marketing to make your life easier. Maybe you want to bring in a new esthetician who specializes in a specific service that your clients have been asking for. Whatever innovation may look like for your aesthetic business, it's important to always be adapting and just changing with this ever-changing landscape. And we can't stress enough the importance of education and training. Keeping the staff updated on the latest trends and techniques is really important to maintain that competitive edge over your competition. So everyone in your aesthetic business, from the provider to whoever is greeting your clients when they walk in the door or answering the phone at the front desk, should be able to confidently talk about every service you offer and every product you sell.
And we talked about this earlier. We know financial management is so important. We know these banks are not loaning money like they used to. So we want to make sure we have a sound financial management system that includes budgeting, diversifying, sorry, revenue streams, and investing wisely. We also want community engagement. We talked about the importance of engaging with our clients, but it's so important that we're engaging with our fellow aesthetic practitioners. And that's really what API stands for. We want you to engage. We want to create a community so that you, as aesthetic practitioners, can get behind each other, talk about best practices, what's working, what's not, what devices should you buy, what devices should you not buy, the best bargain you can get on fillers and neurotoxins. What we have noticed, and Heather and I, with all the experience in this aesthetic space, we've noticed that the corporations, those big aesthetic corporations, do not want a community. They don't want you to engage. They want to keep the competition high so that they can pretty much name the game. They can pretty much name the price of their products. So if you create a community, which we are 100% behind, then you have control. You take back control of the industry, and now you basically can set what price you're willing to pay.
Bless you. So, with that, we do also really want to stay customer focused. Maintaining a strong focus on your customers and their preferences is extremely important. You can do this by offering personalized experiences and high quality services. And we all know that results are hands down one of the most important things. But what many people don't realize is that the experience, the customer service, and the atmosphere is just as important when it comes to retaining and attracting clients. So stay engaged with your clients through social media platforms like we talked about with live streams and educational videos and content that you're putting out there. Um, do those appointment follow-ups like Kathy had mentioned earlier after somebody gets a treatment. Those touch points really do go a long way. And you can do those through email, you can do them through text, set up reminders to do it. It's a very simple thing. You can designate a person in the office to do it. Run polls, survey your customers as they come in. See what treatment options they would love for you to add to what you're already offering. And this is also a really great tactic to be able to determine if there is a demand or not when you're considering bringing in a new device. And in today's digital world, marketing online is an absolute must. There's no way around it. You really do need to have a strong online presence, and that includes having a user-friendly, optimized website, being active on those social media platforms, and having an ongoing effective search engine optimization strategy. And these can all be very powerful tools to attract, retain, engage, and build that trust and that relationship with your base. So share stories, go live, maybe show a treatment on a staff member, show those before and after photos. Do not only just written testimonials, have a client do a video testimonial, share that. People connect. At the end of the day, the most important thing you want to do is be you. So connect with your audience, and you can do that by being your most authentic self and sharing your knowledge and expertise to help gain their trust.
So one of the most important things is branding your aesthetics practice. So when we do that, one of the opportunities, if you are not already branding your own private label medical line, what we found of drugs and dermatology that true foundation therapy is scare because 60 outcomes come from.
Kathy, I think we lost you.
Your skincare.
Oh, hold tight, everyone. She'll be right back with the presentation. Our apologies for the technical difficulty.
is actually it's so important. Private label skincare is an opportunity for you to brand your practice. So when you think about it, I have a story where I had a doctor reach out to me, and it was kind of surprising. So this is a very large physician. He was telling me that he literally spends $250,000 a year in the name brand skincare. So we're talking like your skin pharmaceuticals, your skin better. So he well, but what he knew, he would sell skincare to every single patient getting skincare, which is super exciting. But what he noticed when he started asking the visits, I'm noticing that you're buying skincare. Are you still using this brand that I had mentioned and that I'm and what he was hearing, we're buying that same brand, like the derm store, even which we know is a problem because it could be the product or it might not be the product. But what he found very interesting was some of these patients were buying it from other physicians because these big companies offer you something called, a store. They basically create like a derm store in your website saying you don't need any inventory, which sounds great. We're going to pay you 40% commission. Just put my products up on your website. But what does that happen to you, to somebody like this doctor? What he found was his patients were buying from other physicians in his area. So he was losing his patient's skincare business to other physicians who were basically using these derm stores. But the numbers were astonishing. He told me he had a 20% retention rate out of his $250,000 spent in skincare. That is unacceptable. So that's where he said, I can't spend that kind of money to only get a 20% return on investment. I'm going to brand my own skincare. So not only are those patients going to come into my office, but they can't find this product anywhere. So it's just another way that while this big business, these, aesthetic companies seem like they're doing you a favor, they're really self-serving. They're really putting you in competition with yourself. So what's the value of branding your own skincare in your aesthetic practice? Private label skincare is going to give you the results that you're looking for. It's going to basically help lead to patient retention, like I had mentioned with the physician who's only retaining 20% of his business. It is so important that we keep growing, but in order to grow, we got to retain our patients and receive those referrals. So moving forward, 2023 was a learning curve for the aesthetic and medical spa space. So there were so many positives, but there was definitely areas that we can grow from, we can learn from. And moving into 2024, we really need to adapt to the changing industry, our changing clients' needs. We need to really take a hard look at the economic conditions. And when I mean hard look, we know that these patients are coming into your practice. Maybe not push as many laser procedures, maybe more facials. It's going to be a volume game. So you might not get as many like big ticket items. You might not get the M sculpts, but you may get a lot more facials, a lot more Botox, a lot more fillers, but that's skincare sales as well. So it's really about reflecting on what's going on in your office, what your patients are comfortable with, and really capitalizing on that. But really, what does that show? It just shows that resilience is really the opportunity for growth. I always say that if you can do, I mean, it's cyclical. It comes up. So with that, if you can do a down economy, it's we look towards the future. We know that there were lessons to be learned. We know that there's positives, but we definitely want to set you up for an even 24. So that leads us to there is so much information we helped share with you. Do you need guidance to really grow your aestheticness? Well, that's where API comes to just an introduction on what we can offer you. Consulting, branding, private label skincare, website development, engine optimization. We're aesthetic practitioners and learning best practices. That's really where a Aesthetic Pathway Institute comes in. So we do have a website. We offer all our clients. There's so many different resources on this website. Not only are we twice a month to really up to date, not only on trend, but what's going on in this space. Because Heather and I and our team every day, all over the want to take those key learnings and you so that you can be successful. Please visit, become a member. There's so much to this website that can be very valuable to you and can set you up for success. With that, so Heather and I can go on and on about this. What we noticed in 2023, and I don't know if you have gotten this phone call yet, but you probably will in the near future. Equity groups are investing in the medical spa space. Why? We know that it is extremely lucrative, but we also know that it's extremely competitive. So what private equity is doing is they want to come in and they want to basically offer you an opportunity to have an exit strategy. So while there is an opportunity in this space, we want to spell out what does that look like? In our upcoming live webinar, we're going to talk about why they're so interested in the medical spa space, also the pros and cons of selling your practice. There are so many benefits, but there are also so many negatives. So if you are looking for an exit strategy or you just want to learn about why private equity maybe knocking on your door or why are they looking into your space, definitely an opportunity. It is going to be on December 13th at 7:30 p.m. Great webinar. But I always say it is so nice and it's so important to know what's going on. But I am always interested when private equity is willing to invest in a certain space. But no, and that is so positive for you as the medical spa owner or aesthetic practitioner that there is that much interest because it shows you that there is so much unlimited growth. So definitely tune in. I will be sending out a link to that in the future. I will be also sending out a link to this webinar so that you can revisit it if you missed any part of this. But we have questions in a second, but I did want to bring this up. This is our website. It is www.aestheticpathwayinstitute.com. I will be sending out an email with this information as well. Please feel free to contact us with any question. We're here to help you, and we're super excited just to really share our knowledge and what we've learned in the aesthetic space and help you be successful, not only in 2024, but going forward. Heather, do you have some questions?
I do. So we did have a few questions come in. So our first question is, earlier in the presentation, you mentioned about tapping into some untapped areas within the market. What are some of the areas you would suggest we target?
That is a great question. What would you say, Heather, for untapped areas?
I think there's a slew of areas that I think are untapped. So one you had touched on, which was youth services, teens. That, like you had mentioned earlier, teens are frustrated with just going on another topical or Accutane. They want other options. They want something faster. With social media today, especially teens, they're constantly looking for knowledge to learn, and they're seeing all this information out there that there are other treatment options than the irritating creams that they're getting put on. So they are open to trying new things. And when have your, your regular clients, like your middle-aged women coming in, who have teenagers at home, talk to them, ask them, let them know you're offering these services. It's a great way to get new people in the door. And trust me, if you solve one kid's acne, every mother at that school is going to be knocking on your door. Not only that, menopausal women. Um, you know, we had sent out a blog a couple days ago about targeting menopausal women. they have money. Not only that, they are thirsty for more information as well. They want to know, what is happening to my skin? Why is it changing? Why is what I was using no longer working? And what can I do about it? This is a really great area where you can provide education and services to help combat that, because there are things you can do. And another one is men. Men deserve to have great skin too. And more men are a lot more comfortable with getting those aesthetic procedures. We're right outside of Manhattan, and we have a plastic surgeon who opened up not one but three locations just geared towards men and men only. So there are a lot of areas that you can target, especially with skincare. You can even create your own skincare men's line, like target towards men. These are just some of the areas that you can target, but I think they're a really great and strong place to start. So anything you would add to that, Kathy?
No, I think you definitely hit the nail on the head. I think not only just really targeting on those specific patient types, there's definitely a psychological aspect to those patient types, as you had mentioned, especially the menopausal women. I think it's something that they feel like they're overlooked. Nobody seems to offer them any solutions. They don't know how they're aging their skin. They don't know what's going on in their body. And there is like a form of depression. There is some mental awareness around that as well. So that is an area, it's not only just like money, but it is an area that if you tap into, Forbes magazine calls them the super consumers. So it is definitely somebody that you definitely want to market to. And then you think about the youth. The youth, once again, there is a psychological component to the youth. And unfortunately, like we mentioned on that last slide, the dermatologists overlook it. They come in, they roll their eyes. I've been in the dermatologist office and they're like, oh, another acne patient. They're spending 2 minutes with the patient. As a medical spa aesthetic practitioners, there's a reason why these moms are bringing their babies. They're trusting you to your practice for, they're not only getting, the facials, they're getting that psychological like guarantee that yes, I'm going to help your skin. Talk to me about it. What's going on? Let me educate you on what's going on. We kept talking about education in this space going into 2024. The people that are going to win are going to be the ones that are constantly educating their patients. That's going to connect more so than anything else in this space. So great job, Heather.
Great. So we do have a few more. So, all right, here we have one. It says, I've been interested in using AI for targeted marketing, but am unsure where to begin. Do you have any advice, and is it expensive?
That is a great question. I don't think AI is going anywhere. You do have people with mixed concerns about it. Is it good? Is it bad? I will tell you, as a med spa owner, if you are looking for AI marketing, I am a big fan. And we can talk to you about some AI platforms, one of which is Otis AI Marketing. And I'll give you a quick overview on this. It's going to look at your budget. It's $50 a month. And then it's going to do ads, targeted ads on Facebook, Instagram, Google, even TikTok. So depending on your budget, and you can spend as little as $5 or $10 a day, but it's less expensive than hiring a marketing company. What they're going to do is they're going to put in the area that you're looking to send the targeted campaign. Are you looking for men, women, what ages? And also, what are the keywords that these people are looking for? So whether it be Botox, fillers, lasers. What's nice is when I say targeted, AI is going to then send out the ads that you create with the Otis AI, and it's going to be targeted to those specific people that you have entered that you want to target who are either looking up Botox or fillers. So in the past, yes, Facebook has been able to do this, but now what's nice is it is only targeting people that are looking this up. So it is very specific, it's very targeted, and it's more targeted than any other ads before. So we know that marketing companies will create content, but nobody's going to get it to that granular level like AI. So it seems really, really confusing, but we are here. If it is something you want to explore, we can talk to you about it. We actually have used it ourselves and it has been super beneficial. So, even though it is a little controversial and some people like it, some people don't, I can honestly say I do like it. And Heather, what is your feeling on AI right now?
I couldn't agree more. I think that it's a like you mentioned, it's a really great way to one save money, but also really get a bang for your buck. We all know if you've tried Facebook or Instagram ads, it can get very costly, and you may not be getting a huge return out of it. So if you can do something that's going to send an even more targeted approach, why wouldn't you? And like we talked about earlier in this webinar, is that you need to have an online marketing strategy moving into 2024. If you don't have one, you need to get one, and you need to continue to adapt and strengthen it throughout the future. So using AI to do that is, like you mentioned, a lot cheaper than hiring a marketing person, if that's not something that's within your budget. So there are ways to move forward and adapt to the changing technology of the industry without having a massive budget for a marketing person. So we do have another question. Can I do SEO myself, or do you recommend I hire somebody?
That is a great question. SEO, so search engine optimization can be a little bit of a bear. So yes, you can do it yourself, but it is constantly changing. Google will change the rules on a daily basis, monthly basis. It's kind of crazy. Once you think you have it down and maybe you're at the top of the search engine, they sometimes will change the game. So yes, you can. I would say in order to be as effective, you probably want to hire somebody. But to that point, if listen, I'm all for it. If you can do it yourself, go ahead. But if not, if you do find it to be very complex and constantly changing, we do have a team of people that do search engine optimization, and we can work with you, and we can work within your budget as well.
All right, thank you for that, Kathy. And just a few more. So I want to implement membership plans, but not sure what to include. What do you recommend that you've seen other practices implement that's been successful?
So Heather, you've done very well with the membership programs. What would you recommend on this one?
So we touched on a few things throughout the presentation. One being having discounts. You can do like discounted per unit for your neurotoxins or dermal fillers. Skincare. People are buying skincare regardless whether you're selling it or not. So why not capitalize on that? And it's a great way to keep them coming back in because they know they're going to get a discount buying that skincare directly from you. You can package together specific services that maybe you can only get that customized certain specialty facial with that membership program. You could give them VIP access to top treatments or freebies, things like that. So those are things that you can implement. The idea is you want to come across as exclusive. You want them to feel that they're getting a bang for their buck. People are a lot more likely to stay within a membership program if they're continually feeling like they're important and that they're getting something out of it. And at the end of the day, it's keeping that customer with you, bringing them back in-house, and change it up every once in a while too. So maybe one month you offered one service, change it up to a different one the next. Now you're expanding that client who maybe was always getting, say, that hydrofacial. Now they're going to get the RF microneedling with you. So it's a great way to expose your clients to new treatments, as well as, if they're happy, they're going to be sending in referrals too. And then maybe they sign up for your membership program as well. And that's just that passive income that we talked about, that membership programs and skincare are the two best ways to make money wisely. And then we have time for one more. So I just purchased a PRP system. What is the best way to see my return on investment the fastest?
That is such a great question. Platelet-rich plasma, once again, that's not going anywhere. People are looking for holistic approaches to medicine. I would say there are so many different ways you can take PRP. If you're just implementing it into your practice, focus on like facial rejuvenation, microneedling with it, even injecting it underneath the eyes, injecting it for some of those patients that don't want to do filler, but they do want to kind of build up that fibrin mesh that breaks that down over time. It's not going to be a filler, even if they make it, the platelet-rich fibrin matrix. Yeah, and I know it's getting promoted as that, but it's PRP, right? Regardless, yes, it will give you some volume, but it's not going to replace the filler. But some patients are looking for that. So yes, I would do facial rejuvenation and hair restoration. That's where I would start because you can take it in so many different avenues. But start there, really educate your patients about it, and it is a huge opportunity. So congratulations. I am a huge fan of PRP. And I kind of like that it's not going anywhere and that it just continues to grow year over year. But it's growing year over year, really in that facial rejuvenation and hair restoration.
Right. Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
So that's all we have for time tonight for those questions. We do have a few more that we didn't get to, and I apologize if we didn't get to your question, but we will follow up with you to touch base and get that answered for you. Um, and we do want to be respectful of your time, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Kathy, do you have anything you want to add before we close out?
No, thank you so much for your engagement, for really logging into the webinar. Please, once again, visit the website, www.aestheticpathwayinstitute.com. Become a member, really look through the resources. There's so many benefits to becoming a member, but also look to really register for the next upcoming webinar on 12/13, where we're talking about private equity. But thank you so much again for joining us. And I hope you guys all have a very nice evening. Take care.
Happy holidays.